All right. Everybody take a deep breath as we begin morning journal 2, 3, 4. Morning journal session number 2, 3, 4. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. You are tuned into a daily show. Monday through Friday, we go live at 6 a.m. Eastern Time. We have some conversations with a cool group of folks, and you get to listen in and join in if you're watching on YouTube, Twitch, Twitter, LinkedIn, Facebook, wherever you watch you. If you're listening back in the future, we have fun. I'm guessing it's still the future for me, so I don't know how it's going to go, but I think it's going to be cool. Go ahead and leave us a subscription or a follow wherever you happen to be hearing this, because you don't want to miss it next time either. So yeah, we're going to have a conversation. I'm going to be talking to folks and interacting with the live audience a little bit. So when you're listening back, you'll hear me welcoming people and, addressing people and as by name. And you like, man, I wish I was there. You could be here though. You could be here. You could get like us. Just go ahead and follow the link that's in your show notes or in the description if you're watching on YouTube. And you can catch us live and get the whole 2-hour experience. So we're here for 2 hours. You might get like an hour and some change, So you want to get that whole experience, make sure you join us in the VIP. Follow the links that are available for you. So this is session number 234. And the prompt, the question that we're going to is, if I focused on blank, it would make a difference, a big difference long term. All right. So we got some answers. Sporks, if I focused on growth, it would make a huge difference long term. Sport, you got a lot of space in that box that you could have said. We don't have to get in business. But in which ways would you like to grow? Maybe think about it. If you don't tell us, at least take a second and think about it for yourself. What are some ways that you would like to grow? Like intentional growth. Because change, everything is always going to be changing. We can't stop that. Change is inevitable, but growth is optional, right? We don't have to grow. We can just keep bumping our head, right? So one of the ways that you want to grow. Spork says, thanks for asking, but mind your business. That's just for me to know. It's all good. As long as you're thinking about it. Rebecca said, if I focused on my writing more, it would make a big difference long term. A big difference. So Rebecca, how much time do you think you set aside for your writing in a typical week? How much time do you set aside for that? And if it's not as much as you would want, what's stopping you? Teresa says, I'm getting ready to make this 8-hour drive. Listening in to start my morning is great. Well, Rissa, thank you for being here. Keep your hands on the wheel and just listen in and enjoy. I know you might be AFK, but hopefully the vibes will be something that you can enjoy. We got cousin Cora Lee listening in on Facebook. Good morning, cousin Cora. Thank you for being here. Nice to see you up early, getting ready to get up and at 'em for your day. All right. Rebecca says, I write before I sleep, but from all accounts, you don't sleep. So where does that leave us? If you write before you sleep, where does that leave us? Hey, Mo is here. What's up? Still in French? Are you still in French? J-Man, thank you so much. Hey, we got a cow in the chat. Ascending to space. Emma is still in France, listening in from all the way across the ocean. It's like the middle of the afternoon. It's great to see you. You have been really missed. I missed you. I'm glad that you were able to pop in for a second. So Rebecca only writes before she sleeps, and then she never sleeps. So she never writes. So if I could focus on de-victimizing from past traumas, it would make a big difference long term. Yeah, those are like heavy things that can hold you back. And you gotta work through that. So for sure, that would make a huge difference. That would turn a lot of lights on, right? Let me take a second to say what's up to my cousin, Michael, listening in on Facebook. Good morning, Michael. You up early this morning? Hope that everything is going all right with you. Always great to see my family listening in. It's beautiful. That's one of the reasons why I'm on Facebook. I was like, put it on Facebook. That's where all people is at. Let them hear what's going on, you know. And I love to see all the ways that you are supporting each other in the chat. So that's kind of like the best part, right? When someone shares something vulnerable or something personal, y'all let them know that despite my jokes and what might out of my mouth at the moment, y'all let them know that they're okay here. Noble Ancient. J-Man, thanks for the spoons, man. Appreciate you. Had to get it even. J-Man says, if I'm gathering skills and materials for my career as a CEO of a game design company, it would make a big difference in the long term. So that's one of the big challenges that creative folks make. Like, you are a creator, you have ideas, a lot of great ideas, you know, that you want to execute for your games. But then the role of the CEO of kind of building the business can be a different set of skills, right? So Noble is like, yo, I need to some of those skills. So Kaloli dropped some coffee and bagels in the chat. As a reminder, that is the Morning Journal spoon, the sticker right there. So if you want to support giving donuts to the managers, it's a whole crew of managers in here on duty. So Kaloli's making sure they all alert and awake, although I know Tree and, you know. Oh, I said the wrong name. Yeah. I needed that coffee. So, Noble Ancient. I meant Noble Ancient. Y'all know who I was. Y'all saw it. All right. So, here we go. J-Man. For J-Man, it's just happiness. If I focus on happiness, it would make a huge difference long term. But let me back up for a second. So I know that I want to thank you, Miss, for bringing that up. Thank you. The computer said J-Man? The screen said J-Man? For real? I wasn't tripping? Okay, it said J-Man on the screen. So that's just some spoon. Okay. I thought y'all was saying I said J-Man. Okay. All right. IMO. Boy, enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Okay. So what y'all telling me is when I share it on the screen, y'all are saying a different name. So all caps, we got MF Doom says, getting up earlier. This stream has helped me already, but then I don't get a chance to do work prep. I'm angry at myself. I don't mean to yell. Oh, man. So yeah, sometimes getting up earlier, you get up early, and I try to make this experience, of course, I know you want to come in and engage all the time, but a lot of times, you can kind of listen in and still kind of get some things done, do some routine tasks while you listen, so that you can get off to a good start to the day. So Mez says, if I focused on the absence of pain instead of seeking happiness, it would make a big difference long term. Miss is like, are you telling me to shut up, G? No, miss, I wasn't saying that at all. I'm sorry if you heard it that way. So M is here. Welcome in. Thank you for being here. And thank you for the likes, Rebecca. Esso says, if I focused on small wins, it would make a big difference long term. If I focused on small wins, it would make a big difference long term. Yeah. A win is a win. Take that W. Build it up. I think that there are ways in which we can, I don't want to get ahead of myself, so I don't want to go too deep into this, but there are ways that we can make small wins more routine, right? We can build rituals around the small wins. And a ritual is a deeper, it's a more deeply entrenched way of doing things. Like habits, great, awesome. But rituals, that's deeply ingrained in your identity. And if we can ritualize some of the things that we are trying to build into our life, like make it a thing, make it almost a ceremony, and get yourself in a certain mindset, it can kind of really enhance the quality of your experience as you do the routine tasks. Something as simple as, okay, this is my playlist, or this is my song that I play when I get ready to do this, right? I have a playlist for cleaning the house. I put that on and I get into a certain mood. So you've moved from having a habit to making it a ritual. You add some meaning to it. You add some cues in your environment to it. So if Rebecca wanted to do the small win of writing every day, maybe there's a candle, right? A specific candle that you light, a specific fragrance that you can put in air, a specific place that you can go. And then whenever you set those parameters in place, it's just easy for you to kind of get into a certain state to do what it is you do. And it elevates the significance. I mean, I feel like some of y'all need to ritualize taking a shower, make it a thing that's, that you want to do every day. Build a religion around your hygiene. All right. Tim says, if I focus on the stock market, it would make a big difference long term. Like, yo, I need to invest. I'm out here half stepping. I need my money working for me. Thank y'all for keeping those likes coming in. Love it. M says, if I focused on me not being focused, it would make a big difference long term. Yeah, focus on my focus. Have what they call meta awareness, where you are kind of living in your life, but you are also observing your life. So focusing on my not focusing. Say, get it together. Have a way to bring yourself back when you drift a little bit too far. All right. Those were some wonderful responses. I really appreciate you all for sharing that focus. So now we're going to get ready to go to the next. Let's get ready to go to the next one. Tim says, I'm just going to be ugly all day today. And hey, it is what it is, yo. All right, so let's kind of keep it a buck with ourselves. Let's keep it funky, right? If I spent less time blank, I would have more time to blank. Let's fill in these blanks. If I spent less time blank, I would have more time to blank. And I encourage you to not use this prompt as a way to bludgeon your it's just raising your awareness, like an honest look. Kay Valerice is here. Kay Valerice popped in with her arms like up and behind her head, serving us this morning. So the prompt right now is, if I spent less time blank, I would have more time to blank. Kay Valerice, don't change. Don't change for anyone. Don't change your hair for me. Hey, I just noticed, that's all. J-Man is back. So the question right now is, if I spent less time blank, I would have more time to blank. Said J-Man says, Spoon just kicked me out. Don't want me to be a part of this. Yeah, there's something afoot. Everybody, go ahead and drop some green hearts in the chat. As soon as you finish typing your responses in the box, drop some green hearts in the chat. Rita is here. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. I hope you're feeling well. So, Kay Valerie says, I posted my first cast songs and a new one. That's what's up. That's what's up. So the question at the moment, if I spent less time blank, I would have more time to blank. Kay Valerie is like, thanks for telling me to. Hey, if you need for me to tell you something, I'll tell you something. You let me know. If you need for me to tell you something, I'll tell you something. All right. Rebecca says, if I spent less time on Discord / talking on the phone, I would have more time to sleep, and then I would have more time to write. If I spent less time on Discord, I would be able to sleep and I would be able to write. So Tim says, if I spent less time working, I could spend more time sleeping. So I guess the thing about work is, I mean, there is the element of like the survival the survival thing. But if you can do more high leverage work, you can do fewer hours of it, I guess. So J-Man says, if I spent less time helping others, I might could help myself. It's like J-Man's be emptying that cup and leaving less time for yourself. And that can be a challenge, right? Because it's not like you don't want to help people, but it's like, yo, I'm starving over here. Miss says, I got kicked from my favorite server, so I can't relate. Discord is not a problem for Miss because Miss got kicked. I guess Miss be talking slick. Can't have nothing. So Miss says, if I spent less time on Spoon, I could spend more time on creativity. If I spent less time on Spoon, I could spend more time on creativity. So I don't have most of my time on Spoon is creative, Dada, Zarude, and Matt, welcome. Thank you for being here. So I guess if you are using Spoon as a creative tool, then they don't have to be mutually exclusive. But sometimes you're just out here looking around. So good morning, guys. I used to be Winston, by the way. All right. So cool. It's good to know that we've seen you before. Thank you so much for the like. Yeah, K Valerie just be out here lurking, trying to get into something. K Valerie's just be out here being fast. So less time distracted, I can finish the baby book. So I'm glad that you brought up distraction, because that we have I don't think the way that we think about distraction is actually correct, but in your case, you have a perfect example of distraction. So people think that the opposite of distraction is like, I don't know, is focus. But focus isn't the opposite of distraction. Traction is the opposite of distraction. Like actually forward, being pulled forward. So distraction is being like off track. But if you don't have a clear picture or an intention of what you're trying to do, then you're not being distracted. You're just drifting. It's not distraction. You just made a decision to do something. You just made a decision to do something different. But in your case, you know what it is you want to do. You're trying to do a baby book. So you get in traction on that baby book, like, hey, that's what I want to do. But if you don't have a clear picture of what you want, you're not distracted because you're just out here. You're just outside. You're just outside. Alexis, welcome. Thank you for being here. So Noble is on that CEO vibe again. Says, if I spent less time worrying over small bit details, I would have more time to unlock the bigger picture. Yeah, that's that CEO angle that you were talking about before, where you want to kind of grow in that way. That's awesome. All right, Miss Hippie, what's happening? Good to see you this morning. Thank you for joining us. The question that we are sitting with right now, if I spent If I spent less time blank, I would have more time to blank. So I'm not going to, Dada, I'm not going to say the last part of your name. I'm just going to say Dada. I'm not doing all that. I'm going to mess around and call you Winston out here, trying to put me to work. Oh, man. I appreciate the phonetics, though. All right. If I spend less time... Dada's rude. If I spent less time blank, I would have more time to blank. All right. Let's get ready to go to the next one. I know Esso asked that we keep it upbeat so that there would be at least some chance that some sleep could be in the offing. So it's been upbeat for a minute. We might slow it down. Miss Hippie says, if I spent less time cleaning, I'd have more time to paint. If you spent less time cleaning, you'd have more time to paint. Well, I think you have the opposite problem that a lot of folks in here have. I think some people might need to spend some more time cleaning. Maybe you take it to the extreme. Alexa says, if I spent less time worrying, I would have more time to be productive. Dada Zarud says, if I'd spent less time cleaning, I would have more time to do my impressions and singing here on Spoon. So we got somebody else to just be cleaning up. Oh, man. All right. It takes all types, right? So he's like, I got to clean the whole house and then I can think about doing something else. I hear you. All right. So let's take a look here. Let's get ready to go to the next prompt. Find that real quick. So with the next one, resetting the request box. So over the past week, what has occupied most of your time and emotional energy the past week? What has occupied the most of your time and emotional energy? Miss, thank you so much for the spoons. We appreciate it. So I think that it's easy to let some hours get away from you, right? You are kind of living your life. You can get wrapped up and you can lose some hours. That's inevitable. And given everything that might be going on in your life, you might lose entire days where you don't feel like you get anything done that's of consequence, that is aligned in any way with what is valuable to you. But the longer the time passes without you taking an inventory of the way that you're investing that time and attention, I think the further off course you can get, and then the more discontent and confused and, depressed and, all these things can kind of pile up the longer you go without sort of checking in and saying, where's all of this time and energy? Where's it going for real? Is there anything that I did this week that's going to matter 5 years from now, a year from now? Like, am I working towards something bigger than myself? Did I put any time there? Our days can't be completely filled with things of major consequence, but sometimes we need to do something that is going to matter in the long term, right? So, thinking about this past week, just look at over this past week. Where's most of your time gone? Where's most of your energy gone? Maybe think about how that matches the direction that you see yourself going. It's really about like not letting too much time pass before you check in. Not to beat you up on sort of the day-to-day ways that you kind of fall short of what your intentions are for the day. Like, oh, I was going to try to do that today and it didn't happen. That happens. But if days turn into weeks and into months, and then before you know it, it's like you forgot what you were even trying to do. You forgot what was really important to you. So just take a second and look at this week. Where has most of your time and emotional energy been invested? Tim is like, ew, I've been in my feelings this week. Ew. Well, that can be valuable though. I think working through your feelings can be important point of gaining some clarity, right? So J-Man says, between my workouts, drama in my streams, and trying to keep RL normal, I'm drained emotionally and physically. So you got Buff J-Man going. You're investing time in that, and that's definitely something that can have a long-term impact. But then you got drama in your streams, and that's draining. Hi, Naya. Thank you or Naya, I don't know. Thank you for being here. So where has your time and energy gone this week? Rebecca says it's mainly went towards family. That can be good. Unless it's, in either way, spending time and investing in relationships does have a long-term impact. Even the skill of connecting, even if a relationship ultimately doesn't work, or if you fall out with the people you're spending time with, just developing the skill of connecting in a human way or an ancient way, as the case may be, that's valuable. So Noble says, over the past week, my emotional energy and time has been indirectly spent on things like getting ready for a flat inspection and Alberto's game design. So Dada says, can you share mine? I'm going to share all of them, pretty much, unless it's out of pocket. So Alexis says, I'm wondering if I actually got a new job yet, or if they will postpone my start date yet again. They did reschedule me, and the worry, anxiety, despair caught up to me. So you are living in a state of anticipation. You are in the in-between. Yeah, that's a rough place to be, in between. We like to know what's going on. It's great to have some clear answers. And when you don't have them, it can be extremely draining. All right, Carlos, good morning. Thank you for being here. Let us know, over the past week, what has occupied most of your time and attention. So, Dada Zarud says, I'm trying to get everything for the social party at my school. Got a big party coming up. You planning? Trying to make sure everyone has a good time. You were responsible for the fun. That's a lot of responsibility. I've been to some disappointing gatherings that were supposed to be parties, but they were just a bunch of people standing around talking. So for Mississippi, it's work. What you working on? What you working on? What you up to, you know? You can't put a whole bunch of K's behind each other in here. Lots of work. We lost people at work, so you got to pick up that slack. So, Miss says, I spent time with my crush, just energizing each other. So much joy. All my fear fades away, and I become a ball of energy and light. Energizing each other, spending time in ways that renew your energy. Like that's gotta be cool, right? That's sort of the nature of abundance. And yeah, there are things that you can invest yourself into that give you exponential returns, right? So sometimes when you're working, you know, you put in the work and you get back what you put in, but there's some things that are, you know, have an exponential factor, a multiplying factor. Oof. Sorry about that, folks. Update on the spoons? Yes, let's do an update on the spoons. Let me calculate. Give y'all a few seconds to continue answering, and we're going to get ready to go into, we're going to do the update on the spoons during our ad break here coming up. We're going to have a message from our sponsors here in just a second. All right. So here we go. You can continue to answering in the chat, but we're going to take a second to have a word from our sponsors. Today's episode of the Morning Journal, today's session is brought to you by the Morning Journal newsletter. The Morning Journal newsletter, you can find the links to it right here in the description. It's a great way to get your hands on these prompts and some of these ideas. You can kind of at your own leisure think about these things and reflect on these things. If you don't have the time or are in a space where you can listen to us for this whole 2-hour experience, but you want to stay connected, the newsletter is a great way to do that, and it is free 99. I mean, it's free. So make sure that you subscribe, and maybe it'll brighten your day a little bit. I don't know, maybe. Also, let me say, we were asking about, or Miss was asking about an update on the spoons. This is the final week. This is the final week of the Lucky Charms event over on Spoon, where we basically, you know, asking y'all to donate some spoons so we can get gift cards. Because if you like us like that, you know, give us some spoons. We get some gift cards. They give us some extra promotion, give us a little more exposure, let folks know that this is a worthwhile place to come and hang out. So, you know, if you like that, you know, if you about that, we can do something. Drop a couple spoons on me, you know. I wouldn't be mad. You know, a great thing is it kind of helps me cover the overhead of running the stream. There is a little bit of overhead associated with running this because I'm publishing on all these different platforms. I have to pay licensing fees for the music, you know, the software I use to stream with, you know, this crispy audio that you're hearing, it ain't, you know. So if y'all wanna, we just updated, we had 428 out of the 1,000 that we need for the week, and the week ends next Tuesday. So, you know, if y'all wanna get down and and show a little support, I did have some ideas for incentives. If you make a donation of a certain amount of spoons, then you can get a custom audio from me. I'll record something for you that you can use. Guided meditation or some affirmations, or I don't know, maybe you want me to read you a story. I don't know. But yeah, I think what we're gonna do a custom audio for 100 spoons, something like that. So if you want me to create something custom for you, I'll do that. Maybe something you can, maybe you need something to go to sleep to, because a lot of people come in here and sleep. So, hey, maybe that'll be the vibe for you. All right. We are ready to go to the next prompt, folks. So, let's do it. Okay, what is causing you unnecessary stress right now? What is causing you unnecessary stress right now? So many things, choices that you make may be a direct reaction to the stress that you are experiencing. You are in full reaction mode, and a big chunk of your time may be devoted to finding ways to survive and cope with the pressure that you're feeling. So some of the things that you are dealing with, though, and that you're worrying about, that you're stressing yourself about, they may not actually be consequential. They may be other people's problems or things that you can't control, but you're reacting to them. The experience of stress is not inherently bad. Like, there's some stuff in it. There's something great about kind of stretching yourself. You kind of grow under conditions of stress. But the unnecessary stuff, there's some stuff that you don't need to worry about. You need to save that capacity and invest in things that truly matter. And if you can notice some ways that you are taking on necessary stress, what are some of the things that maybe you can let go of, or you can try to learn to let go of, or that you can be willing to consider letting go of? But it's causing you unnecessary stress right now. Thank you so much for the likes, Miss and Rebecca. Keep those coming. So Noble says that the only stress that is unnecessarily be caused is the upcoming flat inspection. I do not wish to lose our place. It's a long story, not going into it. Thanks. All right. We'll just leave that there then. If you don't want to go into it, we won't. So J-Man says, my streams constantly turning into some version of BS or drama or therapy from countless people. So J-Man is like, man, this streaming thing, the way I'm doing this is causing a lot of unnecessary stress. Why is it like this? So yeah, if you feel like something, I think the key part of it is the unnecessary part. So recognizing that you have a choice in the matter, recognizing that you have a choice, then, you can choose to reduce or cut out things that are taking that are training you in that way. So said is here, Grand Rising. Got to hit that road. Well, I'm glad that you stopped through for a second. It's always great to see you up in here. We're talking about the things that are causing us unnecessary stress right now. So Sporg says, being uncomfortable with uncertainty is causing me unnecessary stress. Well, that's a great perspective to come from, Sporg, because you know that uncertainty is sort of the norm. Worrying about, it's like worrying about worrying. Like, why am I going to add to this? How can I sit in a space of allowing? How can I sit in a space of openness to what is? And not in a way that's like passive or defeated, but just, the type of ease that allows you to be in flow and actually be effective in shaping some of the uncertainty and getting a handle on some of the things that you can control. So, yeah. So the unnecessary stress is hunger, writing out tasks for work, not being ready for the day. Also, my skin is dry and it feels weird. All these things rushing through your mind right now as you start the day. Elevating your stress. Is there a way in which it can be okay? Is a way for the things that are, like the things that are currently happening? Is there a relationship that you can have with the things that are happening that is more healthy? So we can breathe through some of these things that we would prefer were different, and they may not have the same impact on us physically or mentally. Yeah, and addressing. Yeah, you don't have to stress over what you can easily address, right? If it can be addressed, then there's no need to stress. It's the things that we can't, sometimes we feel like we can't about it. So, Alexis. Says fixing my laptop because she is outdated and cannot handle the new OS build, so she skips and struggles to operate. I'm resetting her for the second time in 2 days. Rachel is here. Hey, Rachel. It's good to see you this morning. We're talking about the things that are causing us unnecessary stress right now. What's going on with you that you feel like you are stressing about unnecessarily? So Miss Hippie says, people not wanting to talk reality or in general, communication with people, it's stressing me out. All right. So we're just going to breathe for a few moments as we think about those things that are causing us unnecessary stress or necessary stress. Like if you feel like stress is the appropriate response, either way, there's a way that we can be a little less clinging to that. We can kind of breathe, just kind of return to where we are right now, where this next breath is coming from, noticing where it sits in your body as you breathe in, and then slowly watch it flow away into the air. and then breathing in again. It's like, wow, everything is kind of existing in this moment as I breathe. So just breathe in. And as you breathe out, you don't have to make a big deal of it. Just let the air pass through your nose and just drift away. And stress can be just like that. You have to understand that anything can be happening, and how you feel about it are two completely separate things. So you always have access to that breath as long as you're living. And when you go there, it might just get a little better. All right. Unnecessary stress. As I say, you're fired. It's like I'm trying to stay up and you trying to like very intentionally put me to sleep. All right, let's get ready to go to the next prompt. If y'all are ready to do that, just go ahead and drop me a little heart in the chat and we can go to the next one. Marie is here. Hi, Marie. Thank you for joining us this Thursday morning. I hope that your day is going well. Right, Ocean Starlight is here. Welcome in. Thanks for being here. Let me give y'all a couple seconds. I know you just came in. Maybe you want to address the stress question before we go to the next one. Not me in here freestyling accidentally. Address the stress question before we go to the next one. Berlin is here. What's happening? Good to see you this one. Essa wants to turn this into Rhythm and Muse real quick. I guess I could announce that tomorrow, this is our day. We got 3 streams on tap for tomorrow. And it was suggested last week that maybe we can flip-flop Writer's Room and Rhythm and Muse. I'm gonna try it. It might be easier for me to get through because I know by the time we get to the end of Writer's Room, I'm like beat. So maybe we'll do it early and then finish with Rhythm and Muse. We'll see. We're gonna try tomorrow and see how it goes. All right. I'm going to pull up the next prompt, but I'm not going to set I'm going to wait just a couple seconds before I reset the request box, just in case some folks who just came in want to say a little bit about it. But this next prompt is sort of speaking to the sources of the unnecessary stress that I was talking about, right? And it's this question: what can you afford to yes to? What can you afford to stop saying yes to? I'm going to reset the request box just after we finish this reply from Ocean Starlight. It says, well, currently I'm not stressed out, but if I were to think about last week and 3 months, I've taken care of people that are not my responsibility, but have become my responsibility. And that's stressing me out. So Daddy and Goddess of Words, Miss Words, if you nasty, welcome in. Thank you for being here. We're going to reset the request box so that you can answer the prompt that you see before you. What can you afford to stop saying yes to? I think that, when you're growing, it's possible that you own some of the obligations and engagements that take up so much of your time. You might be held back and weighed down by commitments that would have expired already if you had not been insistent on renewing them. There are things that have run their course, but you won't let them go. So, what can you afford to stop saying yes to? All right. All right, let's see. What can you afford to stop saying yes to? So J-Man says, I can stop saying yes to allowing certain people to trauma dump on me. I have my own problems. I got my own problems. So, yeah, I think that sometimes when you are kind of an empathetic and compassionate person, you'll find that people lean on you real heavy, right? And that can be too much. So Ancient says, I can afford to stop saying yes to negative thinking and reactivity in various situations. I strategize and fight those demons daily. Noble's like, I can say, like, I'm not going to go dark. I'm not going to go dark. I'm not going to go negative. I'm going to respond rather than react. I heard someone say yesterday that when you're faced with something, fear is a reaction and then creativity is a response, right? So being responsive rather than reactive, having that little gap between what happens and what you do, that little intentional gap that you can put where you gain a little bit of perspective rather than just popping off, right? That's creative. That's a creative act to kind of have that little space between what happens and how you, what you then do. So let's see what we have here. Alexis says, I can stop saying yes to consciously choosing the wrong foods for me and using the nutritionist words as my excuse for it. I need to actively change my eating behaviors for the better. So choosing the wrong foods. So Tim says, I can stop saying yes to that little thing that says, stay up a little longer. You'll rest when you're dead. Somehow gets more rest and ends up looking dead anyway. Oh man. It's like, man, you got more rest and that's how you look? I might as well stay up. Dada, are you leaving? All right. So Marie says, I can afford to stop saying yes to everything. I'm no longer saying yes to spare people's feelings or to just be nice. I'm not doing what I don't want to do. Oh, it's Mississippi that's leaving us. Okay, Mississippi, enjoy the rest of your day. I hope you get things cooking. So Alastrid is here. Welcome in, Alastrid. Thank you for joining us today. So Marie's not having it. I'm not saying yes to y'all. If I don't want to, I'm not gonna. Put that in your pipe and smoke it. How you like them apples? So Miss says, one of my work week meetings was canceled already. It ain't even 7 yet. Want to do it? Miso, welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Welcome to this out-of-pocket chat already. We're not even going to address that. Oh, man. So what can you afford to stop saying yes to is the question that we're working with right now. Ocean Starlight says, I can stop saying yes to acts of service that go against my comfort and saying yes to things I enjoy that don't help me grow. You can stop saying yes to acts of service that go against your comfort and stop saying yes to things that I enjoy that don't help me grow. Misa says the elevator music is everything. Well, I'm glad that you are enjoying the vibes. I hope this is a great way for you to start your day or end your day. I know sometimes people are coming here to wind down after a long night. Either way, we're glad to have you. The question at the moment, what can you afford to stop saying yes to? So, Daddy DG says, I could certainly afford to stop saying yes to the people who take advantage of the fact that I struggle with telling people no. And when people ask me for something, I always give, and I need to stop. I need to stop. A lot of times people who are givers attract takers, right? People who are givers a lot of attract takers. So you have to be careful and notice where there is an imbalance, right? Noticing where there is an imbalance. Alastrid says, I can stop saying yes to providing time and comfort to those who cannot, will not return the favor. Investing in the wrong people. Yeah, that's about enough of that, right? So Goddess of Words says, I can afford to stop saying yes to people who take me for granted. So Goddess, in what ways do people take you for granted? What do you feel is unappreciated about you? Hi, Cody. Welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Dada Zarud says, I can stop saying yes to impression requests at school because it's so annoying. Sometimes when you become known for something specific, your whole life turns into a show, and that could be exhausting. Like, can I just be cool? Can we just sit here and be cool, or do I always have to put on a show for you guys? Do you really care about me, or do you just like to have me around so I can entertain you? It is true that some you as a utility, like they want you to do that thing that you do. They don't care anything about you. So Goddess of Words says, the thing that is taken for granted is your effort towards intimacy in your relationship. And I mean always. Friends, family, romantic relationships, you always have the thing where you feel like they just expect you to be that way. They just expect you to want to connect, and they don't fully appreciate it, if that's what I'm understanding. Yeah. It's the whole thing of givers attracting takers. But there are ways to kind of grow through those tendencies and start attracting the types of connections, creating the types of connections that are more mutually fulfilling. That yeah, sometimes that get back, right? You feel like, yeah, you want to get something back. It can be tough. It can definitely be tough. And sometimes it requires a lot of tough communication to understand the ways that they can reciprocate. So a lot of times when you have a relationship with someone or connection with someone, any type of arrangement where you're working together towards a mutual goal, the things that you give, you might not get those same things in return. There might be a way in which we expect others to love the way that we love. And it might be different, and it might be a matter of communicating what their actions represent to them, like how they see themselves being, and how that matches up with the way that you see them. Because sometimes people are loving you just as hard as they can, and you can't see it because you don't understand that that's what's happening. Tim says you can't expect you from someone else. That's a very succinct and valuable insight. So Emmy is here. I guess the alarm went off. So Emmy is present with us. Thank you for being here, Emmy. All right. We're talking about the things that we can afford to say no to. That's the vibe. But we're going to come down to the end of, we're going to recap. It's time for a recap. So you came in just in time for that. So I'm going to pull up, in case you came in late, this is a perfect time to catch up on the flow of the conversation that we had today. I'm going to put this prompt in the background. If you're still working on the one that you see, feel free to do that. Feel free to answer. But I want to take a sort of an overview of where we have been for session number 234. We started the conversation talking about or looking at what is one thing that you can focus on. If you focused on blank, it would make a huge difference long term. What would make the biggest difference long term if you could focus on one thing? You can use impact, right, as a filter to determine how to devote your time. And rather than looking at what would be easy or what would be comfortable, ask the question, what would make the biggest difference? A lot of times we are busy because we are doing things that don't matter. We're busy with stuff that don't matter. But if you use impact as your determining factor, and you'll find out that you have more time than you think because you're not wasting it. Of course, there are things that you have to do every day that are just a matter of staying ahead of things, on top of things. Those routine actions that if you didn't do it for a day, it's not going to hurt. It's not going to kill you. Maybe if you neglect it for a while, it can start to degrade the quality of your life. And maybe even become a crisis of just accumulated neglect. On the other hand, you can do all of those routine tasks. You can stay on top of everything. You can have your place clean. You can have yourself washed and fed and all the basics of just being a healthy human being. And that's a great baseline to start from, but it could be the case that you want to make something that's larger than yourself. Make something that is, you want to make a change in the world. So if you have that desire to create something larger than yourself, you might have to step outside of your routine and focus on something that makes a huge difference long term. So think about what that is. That's how we started. And then we started hacking away at the ways that we are spending our time. If we spent less time doing blank, we would have more time to blank. So what can you cut out to create that space to do what matters? We took an inventory of with the next prompt over the past week. What's occupied most of your time and emotional energy? It's okay, and it's inevitable that you're going to lose some hours. You're going to lose some days. When it starts getting to the point where you're losing whole weeks, it might be worth taking an inventory and thinking, okay, how can I get back on track? Because the more time you pass without reflecting, the more and the further off course you can go. We looked at things that are causing us unnecessary stress. There's stuff that you can just let go because it doesn't matter, and you recognize why am I bothered with this? This isn't mine. This is something that I said yes to that I didn't need to. So that's sort of been the arc of the conversation today. This is a great opportunity for those who are new. Recognize that you can swipe over to the right and remove the chat. And when you remove the chat, you can take a screenshot and come back to these ideas. Alatra says, G, without a doubt, your streams provide us such a safe and welcoming environment. And for that, I applaud you and I thank you for being here. It's always nice to have you come through. I'm going to open the request box and give you an opportunity to share what your key takeaway was during the time that you are here. And these are some screenshot moments. Again, if you are in the VIP watching, we're going to continue here for the next 15 minutes and we're going to say goodbye to folks listening to the replays. We'll be back tomorrow morning, 6 a.m. Eastern. I'm going to hang out with the VIPs for this last little bit. Make sure that you subscribe, leave us a rating and review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, wherever you might be listening to the replay so that more people can. That'd be really cool. So for now, we'll see you later. VIP, stand by.